Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Eating While Broke. I'm your host, Colleen Witt, and today we have a very special guest. ANAYA Lovenote is in the building. You guys may know her from her music because she is a recording artist, hailing all the way from Texas.
Yes,
which is different because when you think Texas, you think Beyonce.
Yes.
You know, but she ain't the only one coming out of Texas.
Not at all.
Not at all. But before we get into all the behind the scenes of what made ANAYA Lovenote, let's talk about what you're gonna have me eating today.
Oh, honey. Okay, so I call it mama's cooking. Okay, because that's where I got it from, my mama. Okay. And I can't be taking credit. So we gonna make mama's nachos today. Mm-hmm. We got the preference meat that you chose.
Ground turkey.
I love it because I've been working really hard to be more healthy anyways.
Okay.
I love that you really chose that. It's like,
really?
Yes.
I'm allergic to red meat.
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, so I guess...
you've never had anything with red meat in it?
No, I did. I abused it for years, and then I finally said, I gotta listen to the doctors. So I went like 10 years allergically eating red meat and getting sick, and then I finally said, Cole, grow up.
See?
Just give it up.
Because red meat's already unhealthy as it is, and you're allergic to it, so that's like 10 times worse.
It's actually harder for the body to digest.
Seriously?
Yeah,
Because you're allergic.
Well, it could be that, but it's funny because I switched to pork and chicken. I was like, pork's white meat. Mm-hmm. But recently I realized I'm now allergic to pork. So I'm heartbroken. So there's no more ribs in my future. And the older you get, the more you respect like your body's needs and commands. So now, no more red meat.
It definitely does start speaking up as you get older. Mm-hmm. And we got the meat right here. We got the Velveeta cheese block. This is my favorite. Mild. I chose mild because it definitely gives like a little spice to it instead of it just being like a regular flavor.
That's like a chili salsa.
Tomatoes.
Okay, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then of course the Texas chips. And then we'll get to the seasonings when we start.
And then I see almond milk too.
Yes, I drink nothing but almond milk. One, because I am lactose intolerant.
Okay.
So.
But wait, is Velveeta cheese not cheese?
I'm like you. I just eat this.
I love that.
Even though I'm not supposed to.
Okay, you ain't supposed to. Okay. Whoever's riding back in the car with her.
Look, I did good by doing the almond milk.
Yeah. But you know what? This can't be real cheese because it was sitting on a shelf.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Because, real cheese with real milk has to be refrigerated.
Yeah, so this can't be real.
I might get on the hook with this.
Okay. I will say the price tag on this dish came out to like $30 or $20 or something like that, which would be considered pricier, but technically it's not because of the serving size. Mm-hmm. So well budgeted. Kudos to your mama.
Yay.
So I guess while you're getting cooking, I want to know what was going on during the time of the mama's nachos.
Oh my gosh. So should I start cooking now?
Yeah, you can start getting in the kitchen.
So honestly, my foster mom, she's actually my foster mother. Mm-hmm. And when I was in middle school, because she got me when I was 14 years old, by the time I got to her home, I just could eat through anything. I just would eat.
You're so tiny.
That's what she would say. And I'd be like, Mom, I'm not gaining any weight. And she started making these nachos, and I just would, it's so crazy. They would call me like the human disposal in the house. So I would eat like my nachos. If my sister didn't finish her nachos, I'd eat her nachos. I'd eat the pot nachos. And I just love these nachos so much to the point where by the time I had to have like a actual cooking schedule in the house because everybody had to learn how to cook, I had this down pat. My mom wouldn't even let me cook it no more.
Oh, wow.
I would just eat it all the time.
What's interesting, a lot of our listeners don't know this. not trying to chime into your story, but trying to chime in.
Yes.
Your mom, I think, was the first person to hit me on the DMs.
So that was actually my biological mother.
Okay.
So my foster mother is the one that lives in Texas.
Okay.
And then my biological mother, she lives in St. Louis. And so my biological mother, she helps me out with my career sometimes because she is also a female artist herself.
Oh,
so
okay.
that's kind of where I got it from.
Wow. So you do have a good relationship with your biological.
I have a good relationship with both of them.
And there's no beef between the two moms?
At first, when I was younger, it kind of was because my mom, when I first found my mom, I found my mom on MySpace. That's actually how I found my mother.
Your biological?
I found my mom on MySpace. And I remember like in high school, I was a freshman and I got on MySpace and I just DM'd all of her friends because she took too long to see my message. So I went on there and I was like, hey, I'm her daughter. I've been looking for her. Can you please tell her to call me?
How did you know that she was your mom?
Because I've had her when I was, not I've had her. She had me before I got taken. So
Okay.
I knew my family before I was placed in care. So I found her on MySpace, and when I did find my mom and I finally got in contact with her, technically it was illegal because the state didn't know about it, and I was still in care at the time. So I had to have a judge actually okay it to me to talk to my mother at the time. And when she finally found her, she didn't really like my foster mother that much.
Were you reaching out to your mom because you missed her, or were you reaching out to were you beefing with the foster mom?
I reached out to her because I missed her. I always wanted to know my family. I actually got taken at 5 years old. So I didn't have my mom, my dad, no cousins, no aunties, just like foster homes, shelters, group homes, foster homes, shelters, group homes, all the way till I was like 18.
Do you know why you were taken?
Yes, I do.
Are you able to say without making family members?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So when I was younger, I don't drink alcohol for a reason. I come from a background of alcoholics in a way. My grandmother, she was an alcoholic, and my great-grandmother was an alcoholic. And so I would see what that would do to people when they would drink alcohol. And for me, as a young kid, I would get whoopings a lot. And I went to school one day, and the teacher saw a bruise on my back, and she asked me, she was like, are you getting whoopings? Are you getting beatings at home? And she put it in the same sentence. And at the time, I had to be like 4, going on 5 at this time. I was like, yes, but please don't tell anyone.
Yeah.
But when I hear the word whoopings as a kid, and then you put beaten with it, it just sounds the same in a way. So that same day, CPS actually came to my house and took us away.
Wow.
So,
they took all of you guys. You had
all of us.
siblings?
Had all of us, me and my 2 sisters.
Wow.
And it kind of was like my grandmother kind of blamed me for us being placed in care. But I have definitely
You
come
were
to
so young.
Yeah, I've definitely come to a conclusion now that I'm older. Like it had, it wasn't me. But back then, it was just like, dang, like, what did I do?
Yeah, I grew up in upstate New York, and I grew up in definitely child abuse, for sure, beatings, whoopings, and all of the above. But the teachers and everybody, they would call CPS, and CPS started getting a bad rep of me and my siblings because it was like, y'all ain't saving us at all.
Right.
And it's crazy to hear that in your story, they like snatched y'all up so fast.
They take kids very quickly, like babies instantly go. When it's teenagers, they don't come to a quick hurry.
That makes sense.
So like I was 4 going on 5. My little sister Brianna, she was like 2 going on 3, and my oldest sister Latrice, she was about 6 years old. And so all of us was just, we were babies. And we all been away from our family since then. So when I did find my mom, it just felt like I found a part of me that I had not had for like my whole life.
Wow. So you were gone for what? almost 10 years away from her before you found her. That's amazing.
And then I found my little brother on Facebook. I found my little sister on Facebook. I've always had my oldest sister. And then the other two, I actually got to get in contact with them once I talked to my mom.
Wow. What was your mom's initial reaction when she heard from you?
She was so excited. She actually cried. She was like, I've been looking for you my whole life. Like, I'm so excited. How old are you now? Like, just like typical questions that a mom would ask. I think when I was younger, I was more closer to my mom. And then my sister, she was closer to my grandparents. So when I found my mom, it was more like I was excited because I found my mom. My older sister, she wasn't really like around for it, so.
Was do all your siblings have a good relationship with your mom now?
It's, you know, we all are still. Ooh, killer.
It's okay. I'm refilling your cup too.
Stop over. We all have a great relationship with our mom now, but because now that we're adults, we're going into that phase where it's like we're adults now, getting advice and stuff sometimes is like, no, thank you, because I kind of know myself now at this point. But for me, again, I've always been closest to my mom, so I'm still like mama's baby, still to this day. But I think that's just because I share more in common with my mom than the rest of my siblings.
Because of the music. Now, does your mom rap?
Yes, she's a female rapper. She say she be singing, but mama, you can't sing.
Oh, she like Drake.
I love you.
It's like, I can't stand when Drake sings. I love Drake's rap, but please, God, please, for the love of God, and singing, Drake.
Sometimes, Drake, sometimes you hit it with the note, and then sometimes I'm like, you could have just rapped that.
Dude, anytime, you know when he does his records like split, I won't even entertain the singing version.
I actually used to love his, when he redid JoJo Marvin's Room, and he was trying to sing that one. It actually came out really great compared to what I thought it would at his singing days when he left Degrassi.
Okay. I never watched him on Degrassi.
Me either. I didn't know him till after. Sorry, Drake. I didn't know you till after Degrassi.
Do you know Drake?
I actually got to meet Drake. So Too Short introduced me to Drake, and we were at Poppy's, and Drake goes, this is my idol right here. If he say clear everybody out, everybody got to get out. I don't care. I'm clearing out this whole club. Whatever this man say is whatever goes. And
he said that about Too Short?
Too Short. Too Short is his idol, the man he looks up to his whole life. That's what Drake said.
What?
Yes, and the way that I
Too Short.
Yes.
I'm not knocking on Too Short, but Drake, really?
But you know, the way that I met him, for me to be an artist, was amazing because I could have met him any other way. But to be introduced to him by his idol as an artist, it was like, wow, that's a lot of respect.
Yeah.
Instead of meeting him like in a club, like, hey,
yeah.
So I thought that was like pretty dope.
Yeah, that sounds pretty dope.
Y'all,
what I would give to meet Drake. I love Drake.
I think the only way I'm gonna see him again is if I go to one of his concerts while the bras is getting tossed on the stage.
Oh, hilarious.
You know, I'm gonna have to catch one of them because I heard he giving out Birkin bags too.
Really? At his shows?
He just posted it. He giving out pink Birkin bags at his show. Drake, look, save one of them Birkin bags. Just put it on the shelf. Don't worry about it.
So so you start making this dish with your
my foster mom.
Your foster mom. Okay. And she had other foster children, but she didn't house any of your siblings.
She ended up taking my oldest sister in. My oldest sister ended up being in foster care with one of her family members at the time. And I was like, Mom, please, please take my sister. I don't want to be by myself.
Yeah.
And I was 14 by the time she got us, and then my sister was like 17 years old. And foster homes don't take teenagers, and there wasn't a lot of foster homes that my sister could go to the more she got older. So she ended up taking my older sister in so she could be with me. And then when I found my little sister, she ended up allowing my little sister to come and stay with her as well. So I actually got to have my siblings after high school.
Okay. And it's interesting because you call her mom.
Yes.
Was that a hard hurdle for you? Because you said you didn't get to her till, 14, right?
Yeah, so when I got there, we would call her by her name, which would be Mama Ray. And then eventually it just became mom. I was with her all the way till I was grown, and still to this day, like, that's mom. I would call her and, Ma, I need advice with this, or Mom, I need help with this, and that's my go-to. It's my mom.
Wow. Okay. That's cool. That's cool.
But I do the same thing to my biological mom too. So I don't know.
Do you let them know that you get opinions from each other?
Yeah, like
And
they
they're
know
totally cool.
Yeah, they know each other. They're like, now they're cool with each other. You know, my mom will ask about Mama Ray a lot, and Mama Ray will ask about my mom.
Okay.
So it's more like our girls.
Okay.
It's like that now.
I like that. And then, as far as the addiction in your family, has it like subsided or?
Yeah, honestly, I just found my biological family. I got to meet my aunts, my cousins, and they gave me so much insight on my background and where I come from, and a lot of things that our family struggled, which was like alcohol abuse at the time. So a lot of my family member isn't alive, to be honest with you. But me, I've never had to drop an alcohol a day in my life.
Good, and you're gonna keep it that way.
Yes, I am.
Yeah. I just got my husband is a alcoholic in recovery or what have you, and I'm just now, like, it took me, like, it's so hard for me to understand the concept of it, because for me it's not the most logical concept. I'm like, wait, so you're gonna just drink
all day? Yeah.
You're, you know, like, logically it doesn't make sense, but now I'm starting to understand, like, addiction is because it feels real to them. It's like, I love this, or I like this, and I get sick without it, or what have you. It's
a dangerous situation, because if they can't identify that they have an issue, it definitely can turn into a generational situation. Yeah. And I think I was the one who identified the issue in my family and decided to change the generational.
So they weren't, like, living in denial?
So, like, my older sister, she doesn't drink. I don't drink. My little sister, she doesn't drink. My mom, she doesn't drink.
Wow.
We all decided we was just not gonna.
Oh, your mom didn't drink? She never drank?
She did when she was, like, younger, but she doesn't drink at all, like, now. Like,
awesome. Yeah. I like that. So let's get past this little bump and get on to the next chapter. What was the next milestone from Nachos heading towards your career?
Honestly, I just always knew I was gonna be something or someone, and I would tell my foster mom all the time, I just need to leave home. Like, I just would like to leave home. I know if I leave, then I'm gonna make it. And at the time, I could not keep a job. Every job that I had, I just kept losing. Like, I just could not hold down a 9-to-5 job at all. School, I wasn't doing that great in school either. And I just felt like this is not for me. Like, I have to leave Austin. There's nothing in here for me. And after I lost my job at City Trends, my mom picked me up, and I had got the opportunity to actually go to Atlanta. And I told her, I looked her in the car. We were sitting in the car, and I looked her in the face, and I said, Mom, I'm leaving. And she said, where are you going? I said, to Atlanta. And I said, I just need you to trust that this decision is going to be great. And when I just know, like, if I leave, Mama, I'm going to make it. And she's like, I just want you to be happy and stable, and whatever you choose to do, you know, I'm going to support you. And I never looked back since. I haven't been back home in 10 years.
And what age were you?
I left when I was 21.
21, but knowing you were 21, you knew exactly you were going to go into music.
But my biological mom was big on me finishing school. So I wanted to get an education before I had decided that this is going to be whatever I do. And it worked out for me.
So you went to college, or? So
I started off in college, and after I did my first year, I got the opportunity to up and move to Atlanta. Okay, wait. So this is
my mess up, guys. Here we go.
I'm like, is this onion powder?
No, that's all-purpose seasoning, I think.
This is all-purpose seasoning?
Look, I did the shopping for the show, but I was... I love how you called it out, like, what is this?
Wait a minute. Before my dish start tasting a little funny.
Okay. Sorry, my bad.
We gonna stick
hilarious.
to this right here.
The Tony Creoles. Okay.
Yeah, we gonna have to manipulate this situation.
The lady at Walmart was like, "Look, this is technically all-purpose." I said,
no.
"Okay."
All-purpose comes in like the little red bottle.
I know, but they didn't have any more of that bottle. So she was like, "This will do," and I said, "Okay." And then here you are, Anaya, calling me out like, "What is this?
What is this? What are those?" I should have. I kind of want to try it.
Just try it.
I'm kind of
try it.
We're gonna try.
Imagine you end up being.
My mom edited the secret ingredients. Okay.
We'll put all-purpose in the cookbook though.
With the
red lid.
With the red lid. Gotta get that one.
Okay, so you put onion powder, garlic powder, all-purpose seasoning, Tony's Creole, and
then I just mix it all in there.
And then you are mixing it. Okay.
So my mom, she always say the best way to get all the seasoning off the plate is to use your hands and the meat. So as you can see, there is no seasoning on this plate, which is what I want to go for.
But now I already know we're gonna end up going to commercial because you're gonna have to wash your hands after this.
Exactly.
But dang, you're distracted.
My hands are clean, by the way. I washed them before I did this.
So I'm sorry, we got so off track. Where did we leave off? I wanted to know when you said you had an opportunity in Atlanta. Mm-hmm. What opportunity were you referring to?
So I met this artist and he needed a PR at the time. Now, funny thing is, I didn't know anything about PR. I just knew it was the opportunity for me to leave home.
How did he find you?
So we have South by Southwest in Austin, mm-hmm. and then he came down as an artist to perform for South by. Mm-hmm. And when we met, I was telling him like, oh yeah, I do this, I do that. He's like, well, I'm looking for a PR. I figured I was just gonna use this.
Look, you got your little hands on
everything. It's a little messy.
Here we go.
He was like, I need a PR, so you should come work for me. You can stay with me. Blah blah blah. Let me just say this: that was the worst decision I had ever did in my life, due to the circumstances of it, but I still don't change the fact that I used that as a way to get where I was going.
So why did he assume that you did PR?
Because I was working at the time for South by Southwest, so I had like the little like badges and stuff on there, and I was working in the studio for other artists at the time as well. So he was like, "Oh, just be my PR," and I was like, "Okay."
Does it come with a check?
Yeah, like it just I'll take it.
And so did he like give you money up front, or
actually no? So I ended up moving to Atlanta only for him to try to prostitute me. And
what?
Yeah. So I moved to Atlanta. He ended up taking a deal in Miami and moving to Miami, but he tricked me and had his friend there, which was like his brother. Mm-hmm. And he was like, well, you guys are going to take over my apartment. And I was like, what? Like, what do you mean I'm going to take over your apartment? You just told me what's going on here? Yeah. And so he's like, well, you guys are gonna split it half and half. You need to get a job. He was like, you need to go apply at the strip clubs and all this other stuff. And he had this one girl.
At the strip clubs?
Yep. He wanted me to work at the strip club. He had this one shorty that lived with him named Barbie, and she was already a stripper at the time. So I was like, oh,
she lived there, or
she lived there. That was her man. So you show up and
there's a brother. And that was her dude.
Yeah.
And then,
but I didn't know.
So he was he like a pimp type dude?
I found out that he was pimping, and when I got there.
Oh, okay.
Before that, I didn't know.
Shoot. Did you call mama?
So I called. I did. I let my mom know, but I didn't let her know
how bad it was.
Yeah,
of course.
Because I did not want her freaking out
and then sending you right back.
Exactly, and she's gonna be like, "Well, I don't think I didn't want none of that." So what I end up doing is I end up getting a job at Wet Willie's, which was it was a waitressing restaurant, whatever. And he put me on this site called Backpage. And I think
I know what that is.
It's I
do know what it is. It's like where you book Yeah,
Yeah,
girls.
prostitutes, right?
Yeah.
I didn't even know what that was. At the time, my phone is ringing.
Oh, he placed the ad and everything?
of me on there. And my phone is going off, and all these men are like, hey, how much do you offer? I saw your ad. And I'm like, what ad are you talking about? Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. I'm in the Uber on my way to work, and the Uber driver tells me, you're on Backpage. And I'm like, what?
How did he?
Because I'm on the phone explaining it to my friend, and I'm like, I don't understand what this is. Like, it says something about Backpage, and I asked one of the guys who DM'd me, and was like, where did you find this ad? He was like, you're on Backpage. And I was like, what is that? And so he kindly enough, before he blocked my number, he kindly enough told me what it was. I looked it up. There was several pictures of me on there with my address where I was staying, with my phone number on there, where I worked at. Everything on there was like in detail. It was like a real dangerous situation. Yeah. But when I read it, you could tell that Barbie is the one who wrote it out for him. Okay. So I was like, you know what? When I see her, it's on site. Because I really tried to be your friend.
Yeah.
And you tried to prostitute me.
It sounds like she also tried to get you hurt, because I can't imagine it being, I don't know if Backpage lists addresses and I don't know how it works, but
when you
that would be a
upload
safety problem.
As soon as I saw it, I broke down, because I just couldn't stop thinking, I'm new here.
Yeah.
I'm freshly new. It's only my first week in Atlanta. What if something happens to me? Like, there's so many pictures of me on here. He has the address, my phone number. So long story short, things didn't work out for him.
Did you end up fighting her?
Oh, no, she left.
Good. I'm glad you didn't fight her.
She left and went to Miami.
Oh, she went back to him?
Yeah, they moved to Miami.
Crazy girl.
At the time. So, still to this day, I sometimes tell myself, girl, you lucky I'm a changed woman. Yeah. But the way that God worked in my favor, I ended up meeting this girl named Kashina, and she trained me at work. And then I went to Target the same day, and I met this guy named Corey. And I'm in Target, and I just got this man laughing, cracking up about hot sauce. The fact that Target don't sell Louisiana hot sauce. And when he gets home, I guess he told his wife about me. And I get to work. Kashina's like, you should come over one day, da-da-da. And I'm like, yeah, sure. When the guy put me out and I had nowhere to go, I called Kashina, and she told me to come over. Come to find out, the man that I met in Target was her husband.
Oh my God, you met them both like at different times?
Yeah, at the different times,
crazy.
but I just didn't know that they were together. So when I got there, Corey comes in the room, he's like, Kashina, remember the girl that I told you just had to meet? Like, you just would love her. You just need to meet her. Like, y'all be such great friends. That's her. And then he's like, it's so crazy because Kashina came home and was telling Corey, I just met this girl. She's new at work. That's what I was trying to picture.
Sorry, there's like meat in your hair. Oh, man, this is bad.
You ain't really cooking if you don't get meat in your hair.
Hold on. Let me just try. It's never been happened in history. All right, go on.
See, she goes, Corey, this is the girl that I was telling you about at work. And I was like, wait, you told him about me and he told you about me? He was like, yes.
Wow.
And I was like, wow. And they were very big in church at the time, so they both was like, this is God's doing.
Yeah.
Because there's just no way.
Yeah.
Ever since then, they allowed me to stay there with them, and I had somewhere to stay. I got a job. Got into my own place, and had it not been for them, I probably would have had to go back home.
Shout outs to them.
It's like so nice.
Wow. So after they took you in and you found your own place, what was the next step to the ANAYA?
The next step was I had joined a promo team in Atlanta, and that's kind of how I got myself out there, going to all the right parties. I always pulled up by myself, so I guess it kind of made people wonder who I was, because the way I would pull up and I'd just be so to myself. Always in VIP. I had a strict plan. Like, I was going to be wherever I needed to be at the time. I literally mapped down, okay, I'm going to join a promo team. Okay, cool. Now I'm a part of the promo team.
When you say a promo team, what does that mean?
So back then, like in 2015, Atlanta was really big with promo teams. So like one promoter would have like 10 people in one group meet, and they will all promote one party. And then within that promo group, there'd be like another promoter who had another 10 people to his group. And then it'd be like 30 people promoting one party. So now this party has gone viral.
So I don't know if you heard of Country Wayne. He has a book, and I read. Well, of course, I don't even know why I said that, but Country Wayne, he has a book, and I read in his book that one of his starts was promoting clubs.
Yeah,
and then he would have like a girl squad or something. Is that how what you're talking about?
They would literally have all girls. So each group had their own name. And one promoter would probably have like 10 girls to his group, and then about maybe 3 other promoters, and then that's one group. And then this other group, same thing. And then they'll come together and all promote these one big parties, and that's how promoters was making their money.
Wow. Yeah. I think the first time I ever heard about it was in the book. I was like, oh, that's an interesting approach. It's genius, actually, to have a bunch of beautiful women promote
and
for
if they did that
and
out
he
here...
did name it, too. They do it I don't think they do it out here,
No,
do
they don't. But if they did, I just feel like things probably would be a lot more lit. Like,
it definitely would, because I remember reading it in the book, like... It's pretty ingenious to think, you know?
You really can make money off of it if you learn how to do it.
So you're promoting, and you're a promoter. What are you doing music-wise during all this?
I was just one of the models for the promo team, but I still was recording music. So I recorded my first EP, Mixed Feelings, with Super J, who actually was the brother of the guy who was trying to prostitute me.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah, because he was...
the one that was in the house with you.
Yeah. So he was an artist as well, and he knew how to record, produce, write. I didn't know how to do any of those things at the time. So he actually taught me. Had it not been for Super J, I would not have had my first EP. Okay.
Now, when I was a kid, I loved hip-hop. But, like, I can honestly tell all y'all, everything I recorded was straight trash. I mean, it just... I don't know, my vocals don't sound good on a beat or something, but it was terrible. So
you sound like you would give me like a good Angie Stone.
Yeah, no. And I pray to God that any recording that lines back to me never gets found. Because all it is like something you could literally make fun of me for the rest of my life. So, but no, you can't. Thank God. It was like during the time of CDs. How did you know you were like, okay, you definitely had something? Because, like I said, I was like, girl, you this ain't your career.
I put out my first project, and that was actually my test to see if this was something I needed to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Based off of the reactions that I got from that. So I made it, then I would perform them, and then just people would just cheer. Like, every crowd that I performed my EP in front of, I always had great feedback. People would come up, oh my God, like, can you perform here? Can you perform here? I really like your music. At that point, I was like, wow.
Okay.
This is for me. Okay. I did good. But I think I did really great my first go around because I had Super J, and he was already like a pro at this. Okay. And he was a real singer, so it just made things happen even faster.
Okay. So what's the next milestone?
From there, it was like, I really wanted to just like fast forward years in advance, because it really wasn't much besides me performing in Atlanta and then getting my name out there. I ended up moving to LA in 2018, and I never looked back after that.
Now, LA, I've been to Atlanta. I'm not going to lie. Like, if I had to move to another entertainment market, I would definitely go Atlanta.
Atlanta's definitely.
But Atlanta, to me, is like the suburbs. It's kind of like upstate New York to me. It's very like suburbish to me. I don't know if that's how it is for everybody, or maybe I'm not hitting the right spots in Atlanta, but it definitely feels like suburbs. When now you go to LA, where you're talking a higher price tag, more competitive market. How was that initial adjustment to LA for you?
I felt like when I moved to LA, my price and the value of me just went up alone, just by being in LA.
What made you say, I'm moving?
I've always been the type of person that wanted to conquer everything. Okay. Like, I would be set a certain amount of time that I'm going to be here. I always knew Atlanta was not my final destination. So I just gave myself a certain period of time that I was going to be there.
And your moms were like just sitting there watching?
Yeah. Everybody just watching. I'm quick to be like, you know what? I feel like I've made my mark in this city. A lot of people know me. Like, I've met who I need to meet. Let me go to the next city.
Now, and nobody from LA was calling. So you came no contacts. Mm-hmm. Okay, so let's hear about that journey.
I started actually like a nobody in LA. Nobody knew ANAYA LOVENOTE at all. Didn't know her music, nothing about me. So I moved out here with a boyfriend, and I was with him for like 6 years. And then got out here, and I was like, I'm just gonna do the same thing I did in Atlanta.
Okay.
And even though they didn't have a promo team, I made friends with the promoters. Mm-hmm. So that way I was always at every party.
Okay, I see, okay.
What the people fail to realize is it's always the background people. Like, if you make friends with the promoters, you're always where you need to be. At the right parties, at the right events. You know, that's how you network. You meet with the right people. How did you
find the promoters in LA though?
So I ended up going to this one club, Playhouse at the time. And you can always know who the top promoters are because they move a different way than others. So I just identified who was the top promoter. And when I got there, I just introduced myself.
But how did you identify, what's the difference between a top promoter and a regular promoter?
So a top promoter, they normally stand in the front of the club because they have customers coming in. So they're always right there by the VIP entrance, and you'll see them like, hey, I got this girl in. They're good.
Oh, they're that guy.
That guy.
Oh, okay,
that guy who can be like, no, they're good. They're with me. That's top promoter. But if you're with a promoter and they standing in line with you, or they standing outside still trying to get their people in, and security's like, no, you gotta hold on. You gotta hold on. Okay. You not that man. You not the man to talk to, because the man that's to talk to is the one that's like, oh, you good. Security's like, okay, bet, let them in. Everybody else is just like,
I'm still waiting.
You still waiting. The promoters is like, you not that man.
Okay.
It's all right. So that's how I identified. I pulled up to Playhouse my first time, instantly VIP. I make friends with DJs. I'm always making friends with DJs, and that's how I made myself out here. So
you make your connect with the promoter, then you go for the DJ. Mm-hmm. You're a silent killer.
Now
I see how you're working the music business for real.
I went for the background, and I didn't stop there. I made friends with security.
Why?
Because I never had to stand in line nowhere I went.
Smart. Okay.
You make friends with security. You pull up, the rope is automatically handed.
How do you make friends with security though?
You just stand there and talk to them. Honestly, a lot of these securities be at the door. Every time I come to a club, the first thing I'm like is, hey, how you doing? You doing all right, baby? How you doing? If it's hot, I see them dabbing it. I'll go get some napkins. Here you go. I see you was hot. Like, I just brought you some. And I'm like, thank you. And the thing about it is being kind.
Take notes, people. Take notes.
Just being kind. Being kind to others, and patiently not rushing them. Like, oh, I got to get in.
Yeah.
Half the time, they'll be like, don't worry about it. You stand right here on the side. I got you. And they let you right in. After that point, it's really like you up from there, because you could pull up to an event and everybody else is standing in line. But as soon as security open the rope for you, and to them, it's like, who is that?
Yeah.
I got to know who she is. She got to be a somebody.
Yeah.
Because they just opened the rope for her. She walked right in.
Man. You need to teach a music marketing class. Your sales skills are pretty impressive.
I think people be worried about the wrong thing half the time when they get out here. It's about, oh, I got to link with the top people.
Yeah.
Like the big dogs.
Yeah.
But what they fail to realize is it's the producers, the engineers, the security.
Yeah.
Who knows all of these big people.
Yeah.
Those are the ones pressing the buttons.
Yeah.
Everybody else is just being told what to do.
Okay, now I see how you're handling it in person. I was also impressed by your following online. Now, everything I'm learning about following is that shit is tough. How are you able to amass your following?
Honestly, I'm struggling. I'm not even going to cap with you. I'm struggling because times are just changing. Mm-hmm. And the more they come out with
new platforms,
new apps, the more apps start getting boring to people. You have to start finding new ways to entertain your audience, because it just starts getting repetitive. Like, Instagram is starting to slowly Instagram is slowly starting to die down, and I feel like a lot of people are starting to notice it. TikTok became that thing.
Yeah.
And now you have like Thread, and then you have like
I refuse to join
Bigo.
Thread, by the way.
Oh my God.
It.
You know what's so crazy? I joined Thread only to find out afterwards, like if you get Thread and you delete it, it deletes your whole Instagram. So
what?
That's how they got
Mark
you.
Zuckerberg got him.
That's why everybody has those like little badges in their thing. It's connected to your Instagram. You cannot sign up for Thread without hooking it to your Instagram.
Dang. Now, I'm friends with a couple influencers, and I will say this. One of them, Daystorm, is a good friend of mine. I noticed that anytime a platform drops, before it even drops, he's already on it. Mm-hmm. And they're quick with the transitions. And if you're not an influencer, you get frustrated because you're like, man, I'm just trying to do business. You know, I don't need to be, for people trying to do business, it's like it's a way to promote your product. Like, you know how you're focused on promotions, but the way they're coming up with these platforms, it's like, come on, man, how many devices do you need to see me in 10 different ways?
Exactly.
It's all on your phone anyways.
And on top of that, it's the same thing. When you really think about it, all you're doing is going live. Mm-hmm. You're posting what you're doing. How many of these platforms are really different when you really think about it? TikTok, you go live. Facebook, you go live. You know, you post your feeds. You post your feeds on Instagram. You post your feeds on TikTok. You post your feed on Thread. What difference are you getting from me?
I use a scheduling app for ours now, but I will say, like, it's the same content, like 14 different ways. You know, and most people that have Instagram have Facebook, that have LinkedIn, that have Twitter, that have it's like, all right, I can't do another app on my phone at this point.
I can't. And that's why you just make your content and then post it on every single one of them.
Now, when it comes to Instagram, do you fall victim to like the negatives of social media?
I do. That's why I don't allow comments.
Oh, you don't? Mm-mm. Really?
Yeah, to a certain extent, because I feel like social media has come to a point where people are just too comfortable
with their opinions, huh?
Yes.
Everyone has an opinion now.
It's like, why does it matter? When did it become a pressure thing for artists or just anybody in the entertainment business to have opinions? Mm-hmm. It's like they promote you to be yourself, not to care what people think. But then it's like, oh, but you got to have a comment section for people to tell you what they think. Mm-hmm. And I just be like, well, I don't really see how it benefits me. Honestly, I don't see how letting people comment benefits me. Because either you're praising me or you're tearing me down. Yeah. Mentally and emotionally, I'm the person who has to deal with that. Nobody else. Yeah. So I don't allow comments because you're not going to ruin my day. And because I know mentally and emotionally, I'm one of those people who are still working on not caring what people think. Yeah. It's just a lot easier if I eliminate what causes me like stress, what causes me anxiety, what makes me overthink about myself. I second guess myself. I second guess things that I'm about to post. Should I post this? Because of other people's opinion. And that's tiring. Yeah. It's so tiring, it's draining, and I just don't care for it.
Yeah. I never thought about eliminating the comments. I think that's kind of genius. I may steal that down the road. You may see me do that. I've had people recently go in on. I've been having a nice lucky streak with women. I'm not gonna lie. Like I usually interview a lot of men, so I've been very fortunate this past season to have a lot more women. But the comments that come from men for the women on my show, I'm very much like. Probably I would consider myself the unapproachable type girl. You know, the girl where guys think she may pull a gun on you if you approach her type. You know, I'm that. I'm that girl. But if you come for a girl on my show and you say some disrespectful stuff, I don't give a rat's.
You gotta get it.
Yeah,
you gotta get it.
And I'm to the point where if someone does it, and all guys need to know this about me. Like I'm about to post your DM to the world, and like you have the balls to say it in private. Go ahead, say
it in person, say it in public.
Yeah. So, but I block, but I will starting like the next time someone really gets under my skin, I'm just gonna screenshot it. Example of inappropriate. And then let people have at that person.
Exactly, because we really need to start sticking up for women way more than we do. And social media has just become one of those things where damn if you do, damn if you don't.
Yeah. So when it comes to hip hop, who was like your initial like in love? Like who was that first or that person in rap that was your rock?
So I actually started as a singer before I was rapping. And so Whitney Houston and Monica actually inspired me to even do music. Rapping wise, because I was also a big fan of hip hop, I was a big fan of Queen Latifah, MC Lyte. I love Lil' Kim. Just back then,
You're
and
into
Missy
like
Elliott.
the real deal.
Yes, like I
the
love
pioneers.
those.
Okay.
Yes, because they had bars and they were unapologetic with who they were and the way that they delivered and the metaphor, and then they would change their cadence and it'd go from this to that, and I was just like, man, like I would hear you. I can hear you describe this is a nigga, but it's the way that they describe it. Even when little Queen Latifah, who you calling up? I'm ITY. Like, come on now, that's a message within that. Like, we need more respect. And I don't really get inspired by newer audience. So when I do my research on music, I still to this day, I go back and I listen to old school rap.
Okay. Yeah, I'm like that. I will say, it's so funny because I'm a huge Jay-Z fan. If you walk into the studio, there's only one in the world. Everyone who has come has seen it. It's a huge Jay-Z painting right in the living room area of this studio. But it's the only one in the world. People can take pictures of it, but they can't take it.
I'm gonna see you.
But I remember, I'm a fan of like Lauryn Hill and Foxy Brown and Lil' Kim and all those guys. But I remember a Million. I don't know if you remember her. I mean, I really wish we could find her and bring her back. But a Million was like the first woman where I was like, yo, her voice sounds kind of nice on a beat.
She had a flow. She had a flow that when you heard it, you knew it was her.
Yeah.
And that's what we don't have today.
Yeah. But I will say this, knowing what I know about the industry, it's kind of sucks the business side because for whatever reason, you see an artist that talented and then they disappear. You're like, what happened? You know the industry. Some red tape blocked her or something.
Every time. I think a lot of artists that I feel should have been bigger in the industry.
Yeah.
They weren't because they weren't down to do what the industry wanted them to do.
Yeah. And then for women, I personally have some friends that, I mean, they could give Mariah a run for their money, okay? I got this girl, shout out to Denise, if you ever need a really amazing singer. But she just couldn't deal with, like, just the pressure from men and producers trying to have sex all the time. It just got tiring, and it was like, this beautiful young girl, sing her ass off, but it's like, yo, how many years do you want to go through being treated like that?
Very discouraging.
Yeah.
It's so discouraging. It really just makes you look at yourself like, am I good enough? Am I talented enough?
Yeah.
It's like, can I really sing? Can I really rap? Because if I could, why do you only see me that way? Why don't you see the music? Why don't you see the talent? Why can't you hear me? Versus, damn, you fine. Let me take you out to the... It's like, hear my voice.
Yeah. I think it's funny because I did do the shopping on the show and I was in Walmart. Weird ass story. Not trying to sidetrack. This guy, he comes up. He's all super nice. Looks like the guy that would either duct tape you and throw you in the trunk of the car or like a super nerd. But you're like, either direction.
Either way it go.
Either direction, like you look
drives a van.
innocent, but you look like you can also come in. He's like, hey, saw you shopping and I'm so airheaded, like I did not notice or whatever. He was like, yeah, I saw you shopping, just following you around, and I just want to say you're beautiful. And I gave him the whole I'm married line or whatever.
That'd be my line too.
So I go to check out, and then security comes up on this dude. Swear to God, true story. And they're like, check him out. And then this dude has a huge box of condoms, and I was like, ah!
Oh my God.
I was like, yo, you can't, I'm not hating on men, but you definitely got to know that men think with two brains, and one of them supersedes
I
the other.
Sir.
Can you imagine that? And I turned around and I saw that and I kept a sober face. And let me tell you something. I sped walked to my car and was like looking over my shoulder like, please God, don't let this guy follow me. But I was like, yo, he was definitely the throw you in the trunk of his car type. Don't you think so?
He got a van.
He got a van or something.
This is one of them dark vans, them Scooby-Doo vans. You got to watch out for them.
Now, you're beautiful. Okay.
Thank you.
So I define women as there's, cute, beautiful, and they're sexy, right? I would say you're more sexy. Okay. So when I think sexy, I think I can't imagine, because like I said, I've seen some of the guests on my show, the way some men comment, and I'm like, yo, if you actually listen to the full episode, you would not be talking like this in my DMs. Mm-hmm. But I get it, for sound bites, we position things in a playful way, even on our snippets, to obviously get people to tune into the episode. Right. But with you, your rap is amazing. It is impressive.
Thank you.
I used to be the type that would be like anti anything too sexy or judge girls, but after doing Eating While Broke, I'm like, I can't do that, because I can honestly say the girls that have even the risque topics that I wouldn't all the way be in support of.
Right.
I'm like, I'm sorry, that chick is so dope. Like, like even getting to know you and hearing your story, like, that chick is dope. And that's why I'm like, yo, if you guys could just get past the look and the sound bites, you can actually see the person.
Right. And it would just do a lot for hip hop.
But in your case, it's like you have the sexy, the brains, the drive. Do you ever feel like you have to put on the sexy to be heard? Or do you feel like, is there ever going to be a place where you can tone it down?
Actually, it's so funny that you say that, because I just talked to my manager about this, I think it was like yesterday. I go to the studio, no makeup. I won't wear any makeup. I don't be dolled up, dressed up. I'm in sweats. And I told him the other day, because when I'm in the studio, I've learned when I'm dolled up and I look good, they're distracted. Not my team, but men, they come to the studio, artists, producers, they be distracted, they not taking me serious, and I find myself not getting no work done. And when I started no makeup, just coming in raw, it was like you had no choice but to hear me and to work.
Yeah.
So I say those places like that are the only places that I can go.
But so are you saying that you do feel pressure to be at least sexy out in the public?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Because it's I remember I did this one interview and he asked me, he was like, I'm kind of offended that you didn't wear makeup to my interview. And I was like,
what?
Why? And he was like, because it feels like to him, I don't take him serious, or I didn't take his work serious because I didn't show up like dolled up and, straight like an artist. But I was like, my fit was fly, everything was cute, hair done, whatever. I just didn't have no makeup on.
Yeah.
And
by the way, your skin is flawless, just so all the listeners know. Because I'll wear makeup. My twin's a makeup artist, and sometimes when she sees the clips online, she gets frustrated because some days I don't wear makeup. Some days I look like I'm a new mom, whatever.
Not need makeup. She does not need makeup.
But I will say this though, like I was talking to my sister, and she was like, I get so frustrated seeing clips of you online, and then sometimes you look like shit, and you have a makeup artist as a sister. I'm like, yeah, back bully, whatever. But I'm looking at you. You don't need makeup for sure. But I think that's interesting that guy said it, because it revealed more about him than you.
It kind of offended me. Like, hold on. Y'all preach about us being natural and being in our own skin. And then when we not wear makeup, it's like, oh, you must not take yourself serious because look how you came. And I feel like
I'm going to say that guy isn't a real man, because real men, y'all like cellular. Y'all like no makeup. Y'all like hair.
I had to break it down for him, of course. I had to let him know, oh, babe, I take myself serious, which is why I have no makeup on. Yeah. I'm comfortable in my skin. Yeah. I'm comfortable with the way that I look. I love the way that I look with or without makeup. So, if you don't want to do this interview, that's fine.
Hey, high five.
You feel me?
And usually, not trying to throw shade on most of our guests, but I would say 50% of our guests show up late. You were on time. In advance, your team was the most efficient with the follow-ups, with the making sure that everything was done. And I respect that. And that's why I was telling you I wanted to touch on that. I like seeing a team that's like, everyone's dotting I's, including yourself, crossing the T's. Let's get this. Let's lock it in. Let's close the deal. And that alone deserves a seat at the table, you know. But I was like, okay. And then listening to the music, of course. But overall, like, I listened to the music, thought it was great. Shout outs if you guys haven't heard ANAYA Lovenote's music. You should definitely check it out. You can find snippets online, or you can actually go on wherever you stream your music and get it, right?
So all my music is under ANAYA Lovenote. I just dropped a new visual for my new single, Sadiddy. And
I like that, by the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Shout out to Will Smith. Okay. And now we're about to drop a new single called Serial featuring AD and Casey Veggie. So I'm pretty excited. I get to give LA vibe, because we don't really have, an artist really popping right now out of LA. In my opinion, I feel like the last person that was like really it was Blueface.
Oh God.
And then after that, it was like,
I'm anti-Blueface, by the way.
I
Just
am
so you know.
too. I'm sorry. I'm keeping
I really
1,000.
want Krishan on my show, though. I really love her.
I love her growth.
Yeah, I love her growth. I just like, I think all women, we struggle with self-love a little bit. And so I feel like in that, like, you could see little bits of yourself kind of in her journey.
I think what I saw in myself was the love that she had. Like, I've never, like, of course, no tea, no shade, but I have never written anything in blood, to be honest, or got a man's anything tatted on me, to be honest. But
I didn't know I know she got a tat. I didn't know about the written in blood thing.
Yeah, she wrote in her blood on his wall in his house after she broke into it and then stole the car. But, hey, when you love somebody, you love them. And who is anybody else to tell you otherwise? And I just felt like her love was so real. It was so genuine. And maybe his wasn't. And then it became a let's get to this money. And then after that, she found herself just the love that everyone else was giving her, letting her know, like, you're beautiful. Yeah. You're talented. You're smart. You don't need him. Yeah. You do this on your own.
I think there was definitely a lot of probably gaslighting and manipulation on his part.
Yes.
Usually when you see a toxic relationship, men are going to hate me for this, but I feel like the men lead the toxicity in the relationship because they are the leaders. So if a man starts doing crazy stuff, then usually, I hate to say it, guys, but the woman will follow suit. If you're a healthy man, your girl or your wife will more than likely be healthy, because at the end of the day, you guys naturally are the leader of the relationship. So, like, even if you're dating a toxic girl, I've seen toxic girls turn untoxic dating the right guy.
The right man. And I have been through that situation.
Yeah. So we were talking a little behind the scenes about some of your relationships. There was one relationship that you said that helped you transition or helped you in some sort of way.
Soldier Boy. When me and him was dating, to be honest, I felt like I was so focused on him. Like, anytime he'd be like, hey, what you doing? Pull up. I'd drop what I was doing and pull up. And the reason why I said it helped me is because it taught me, in this industry, one, it don't matter if a man has money or no money. Men are men at the end of the day. So what I learned was, when I was focused on him, I should have been focused on myself. Anytime I would pull up and he's recording, just knocking out songs back to back to back, and I'm sitting here watching him do it, I should have been working. And
he knew you were a recording artist.
Yeah.
Did he support your music?
Yeah, actually, he allowed me to direct and choreograph Make It Clap. The first one and the second one with French Montana.
Okay.
So, but the way that I am, I don't never try to do business and personal. I don't really care who you are, because I want to say I came up and I earned it myself.
Yeah, of course.
I don't never want nobody to say only reason why she made this because so and so.
Yeah.
That would just be a slap in the face for everything that I went through. But with Soulja, it was like, I'd come, he'd play his music, we'd be dancing in the living room, and I could tell how much he loved what he did. And the only thing I could also think of on the side was, damn girl, you need to be in the studio.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be working.
Yeah.
Instead
you need to be there for you as much. Yeah. I had to learn that the hard way,
and
too.
I kept finding it as a distraction. Eventually, like, man, it broke me. Me and him had our situation, which led us to no longer dating, but it really did break me. Like, Soldier broke me and he built me at the same time. Like, he built me to be a better me and to be stronger.
What do you mean by broke you, though?
Broke me as in, he was like one of the first celebs, I guess, that I dated, and broke me as in I started losing myself, just losing myself within him. Every time he would call, I'd answer. Anytime he wanted me to pull up, I dropped what I was doing. Anytime he wasn't answering the phone, why you not answering the phone? And what are you doing? Who you with? Like, and that's not me. Like, that's not who I am naturally as a woman. So I just found myself becoming somebody that I was not, trying to please him, knowing like I'm looking on the shade room, you posted up with this shorty. Next thing you know, you posted up with this girl.
Did you feel comfortable saying stuff about it, or did you just let it slide?
One time we got into it, and I was yelling, and he got mad at me because I yelled at him in his house. And I was just like, you over here posted with this girl in the shade room, and da-da-da-da. And he's like, that girl wanted to take a picture, so I posted it. You could have, if you wanted to take a picture, we could have took a picture. I respect your privacy. So I'm not about to be out here, oh, babe, let's take a picture so I can post it and go in the shade room. I don't care enough to do that.
Yeah.
So by me seeing the type of women you were, and I'm looking at me like, and I'm gonna keep it transparent because I don't care. Before Make It Clap came out, I was sleeping on the floor with you in your big ass mansion. When you had a small couch, and my foot was one way and his feet was the other way, before he had got a bed in his crib. I'm sleeping in this big-ass mansion with you on this small-ass couch. And all I could think of was, this is me testing myself if I ride or die. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, you got some women, oh, you ain't got a bed? I'm out. Me, I'm like, I don't care.
But now this is during Soldier's...
This is before this is when he was just making Make It Clap.
But how... Because Soldier came out when he was like 17.
Yes.
So that was after Make It Clap.
This was like... right before I met Soldier, like in 2020, 21.
Okay, so yeah, this is way after. Because I feel like Soldier's career is so long, like most people that have a long career, it's like you ride the waves of success and failure.
And you up and down, up and down. And around that time, he was about to
get back up.
Yes.
Okay.
But it was still where he was at. And so for me, I just didn't care. I'm gonna sleep on this floor with you if I got to.
Yeah.
You ain't got no bed, I don't give a damn, babe. Let's hop on this couch.
Yeah. So you were like old school with the ride or die.
Yeah.
And it kind of, I do blame hip hop for the ride or die era for a lot of us women that grew up in that like, oh, you want to be the ride or die for your guy. Because looking back now, like that is definitely toxic. Oh my God, I just realized we didn't even try your nachos. Hold up. We got to try some of these nachos. Sorry. I'm going to grab some of the chips, right? And then you're going to put some on top. Do you want to use that wooden spoon?
Yes.
I'm like sitting here all in your story. We didn't even try these. We have to try these.
These beautiful mama nachos.
So you guys know, one of our previous guests did have nachos on the show. So I will be comparing nachos.
And you got to be like very honest.
I'm going to tell you,
better?
Norm Steele's had Dorito nacho chips.
See, he had Dorito nacho.
I saw that like, ooh, was that a good one? Huh?
He had Dorito nachos.
He had the actual Doritos chips.
Oh, he took it there with the Doritos.
Yeah, so I feel like you're going to be up.
That's cheating, because that's like giving real flavor though. Like you... That's real flavor.
You feel? I will say this though, he had a lot more ingredients, so it may be comparing apples to tomatoes or whatever, because definitely this had very limited. But let's go ahead and try this.
Now, Mama Nachos ain't never failed.
Mama Nachos, ANAYA Mama Nachos. Pretty good.
I'm not gonna lie. It definitely tastes different and new with the turkey meat.
Really? Mm-hmm. You don't like it? I like it.
I like it with the turkey meat.
I was going to say,
I normally use the red meat, but this tastes really good with the turkey meat. And then on top of that, this right here is not too bad. It's not the season that I normally use, but this actually came out really good. So kudos to you.
Okay, thank you.
If I see anybody with this in their cabinet, now I know what it is. Mm-hmm. Because I really thought it was just more like onions and stuff.
I will say, I want to try it with the chilies on it. The chip with the chilies.
Not that bad though, right?
Well done. I think Velveeta cheese, I think it's salty, right? Is that what's giving it a little salty?
Actually, it's this.
How you gonna compliment it? Take it away.
I ain't gonna lie. This one gave it a little bit of salt because
it's definitely saltier.
It doesn't.
I thought it was the Velveeta though.
Oh no. I didn't know how much to honestly use this because I'd never used it before. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I used a little bit too much.
So stick to the original all-purpose seasoning.
That's what I grew up on. This is a today's learning situation. So
okay, I may have messed up your dish a little bit, but
no, it's still good though. Still good. Okay, wait.
I'm gonna try not to eat all of my.
Whose is better? I know what she gonna say. She gonna say her the Dorito nachos. Just go.
Them Dorito nachos was in, girl. I'm sorry.
He cheated. It's all right.
This is what I will say. Norm's nachos, shout out to Norm Steele, was better. But technically he had way more ingredients and he had luxury ingredients. Because this is regular tortilla chips. Doritos are like way more. So if you're on a budget, this works fine. But between y'all, girl, you better get Norm's recipe.
I was just about to say, you took the words right out of my mouth. I was about to say, I'm going to get his recipe.
Get his recipe because his nachos by far were
now,
amazing.
Norm's, look, honey, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have to.
You know he has Gangster Chronicles. We should have you on his podcast.
I gotta go on there.
I'll do an intro.
So I can bring my nachos and be like, look.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he does the Gangster Chronicles. You fit right in there.
I would love that.
Yeah, I think
I'm an
you'll be
emotional
good.
gangster.
Damn, I didn't mean to cut off in the middle of soldiers and your relationship, but no, these nachos are really good. I was like so caught up in the story that I heard a random sound. I was so caught up in the story that I forgot about the meal. Surprisingly, I don't know how that happened.
It be like that. The tea be good.
The tea be good. The tea be good. Is there any other milestones that you hit that were like kind of a little harder to overcome, where you kind of stalled out a little bit?
Honestly, I think being out here in LA, it was at one point where, as a Black woman, I just didn't know how to maneuver. Because certain doors are more so for like women of lighter color.
Yeah.
Men flock to more lighter color women. Mm-hmm. So when I came out here, I felt like the most thing that I struggled with was just self-love at one point. Mm-hmm. Because I see how people can say LA can eat you alive if you don't know who you are.
Yeah.
And just losing myself, dealing with that. And then I'm trying to get in certain doors, but it's like, dang, I'm tired of everyone trying to sleep with me, but I'm the Black girl of the group, and I just feel like I really had to find myself.
How do you curb, I still struggle with this, but when I was younger, when I first moved to LA, I definitely used my looks to get in the doors. And then I would swear on my brains to keep me there. And it was a hard battle. And that's why I said I became the unapproachable, like the FU Tim wearing girl. Mm-hmm. I have a fat booty for everybody that doesn't know.
You feel me?
But as long as I'm in the 1-3 club, like 130s club, it's not too outrageous. But usually I'm about 150, so I'm like thick. So I would always wear like whatever I can to cover, you know. But still, you can only hide that so much.
You from New York? They all got real booties out there.
But I did use looks for a long time to get in the door, and that's how the industry is. But even in that, I still every once in a while will come across like someone that I do want to work with. And then, like, obviously from my history of being in the entertainment, like, you could tell when a guy's trying to fuck. Like, even if they're trying to bleed cool, you can tell little things. How are you able to still curb those? Because I still struggle to the point where I'm like, fuck, man, I just want to just keep it real.
Well, those is hard because it really just depends. Like if it's somebody I really, really want to work with,
And they just see you as
right. Half the time I'll just like laugh it off, like, okay, you're
but
so
how
funny.
do you get past it? Because I can't seem to. I'll tell you right now, I can't. And when we not on the thing, I'm gonna tell you, I can't. There's certain people I'm like,
upfront. I am so upfront, and I do not apologize for it. Instantly, I'm be like, look, I came to work. So if you on anything else past what I'm trying to do, I'm just letting you know right now, like I came to work.
And then once they cut the bridge, you're cool with the loss.
Right now, at that point, it's like, yeah, no, let's work, let's get it in, like that.
But what if they say that and then you never?
And then I just be like, oh, okay, that's cool, I understand. And I just let it go. I just let it go because I think I had one person tell me one time, he was like, never say what you wouldn't do. And I was like, what you mean? And he was like, if Drake wanted to fuck and, you know, for a feature, would you? I said, you not Drake. Let's just get that out the way. And second of all, it really, I'm going to be honest.
Yeah, you know what? Let's go back to the first one. You ain't Drake, okay? Because let me tell you something. I don't know. I haven't seen Drake in person. I don't do light skin, by the way. I don't like light skin because I'm mixed, and I'll tell you right now, anybody that looks like my brother, I ain't trying to. Yeah, like if you got the curly hair, like you know the mulatto, the curls. If you don't have like the fro or like can have a fade, like. Nah, but I don't really mess with. There's like literally one light skinned dude I like my whole life, but that's it. Like
dark skins get me in trouble.
I love dark
light
skin.
skins, I could deal with you because I know there's no future.
But saying that if you were Drake for a feature, I'm like, come on, man, you got like Drake talent. Then like, you have maybe Drake ain't the worst looking dude. Yeah, I would maybe give Drake a pass.
You feel me? Because in my mind, I'm like, to be honest with you,
yeah, come on, man.
Me getting that feature would do way more for me than anything else. But at the same time, it's like, dang, the way that you think that though, like it was just the conversation alone and his mind frame of the way he was thinking alone just made me be like, man, this is a real industry mess.
Yeah.
This is real industry mess, and I don't care. Oh my God. Oh, it burns me up when a man is very arrogant and goes down the list of things and people that he know, and that is your reasoning for fucking with him.
Oh, that happens all the time in the industry. It's so annoying. They'll be like, you don't know how great I am. Let me show you some shit.
You're like, missing out. Like, you just passed up on a good thing, and I know this person. I could really do something for your dream. And I'd be like,
bye.
If you gotta tell me all of that, then you really probably not that dude.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Now, you've been in LA for how long now?
Going on 5 years.
5 years.
Mm-hmm.
And you're ready to keep going.
Whew, honestly.
I dropped out for 10 years. I'm not even gonna lie. I took a 10-year hiatus.
I think I'm ready to explore somewhere new, honestly. But I honestly think me moving around comes from just being in foster care. Mm-hmm. I just staying somewhere for a certain long time. I can honestly say I don't know where I would make home.
Okay. I agree with that. Like I sometimes think about that. I own a house here. I bought it a long time ago, so I'm keeping it because equity in LA is amazing and it's almost paid off. So it's gonna be I feel like it's gonna be my Cali home, but I think my real home is gonna be in another somewhere city that I can afford. That just gives us more bang for our buck.
They do.
Why do I keep spacing on this? But I wanted to ask you, are you in a relationship? Do you date guys, girls? No. I have to ask this now.
I know, right? But no, I do not date girls. I'm strictly for the penis. You know what I'm saying?
My twin and I just had this conversation the other day.
But a threesome every now and then. Really? I ain't against that. I'm not against it. I am.
But will you touch the girl?
No.
Okay, so my twin and I had this conversation, true story. We had this conversation, and I was like, yeah, my husband, he's a hoe. Like, I'm legit married a whore. Like, it's terrible.
It is
okay?
At this point.
Yeah, I already married him. So, I mean, it's either divorce or you're married to a whore. So anyways, my sister was like, well, would you ever consider a threesome? And I was like, Rebecca, like, I'm so not gay. Like, I could tell a beautiful girl, but that's where it stops.
Exactly.
Like, I'm not trying to do nothing with you.
And that's where my threesomes kind of like, yeah, because I honestly just went through a situation not too long ago. Oh my gosh, it was the worst situation ever in life history. So I get flown out, and then it was the guy's birthday, and I had been talking to him for like a good minute, right? Mm-hmm. So we're like 8 months, And I'm like, okay, it's your birthday. He's like, you want to have a threesome? And I'm like, okay, bet, I'm down. He brings the shorty down. Me and this girl argued the entire trip. There was no threesome. It was simply just fussing and fighting and arguing.
What were y'all arguing about?
It's like when he would like be with me, she'd get pissed, and then when I see
while y'all were together,
like we all in this one
so
place
like
away
you're making
for
out with
his
him,
birthday.
and then she snaps. She's like, nah, fuck that.
She walks in the room and she's like, I'm just gonna go sit outside. I'm just gonna wait outside, and I'm just like gonna sleep out. I don't want to sleep in the bed. And in my mind, I'm like, I'm gonna be honest with you. We came out here for a weekend. It's a weekend. It's one of those weekends that you know what it is. And then when you leave, you go about your day.
Yeah.
I didn't get anything that I wanted because I was too busy and he was too busy and everybody else was too busy babysitting feelings. And that's one of those things that pissed me off because I'm not gay. So for her, she is. She likes girls.
Okay.
And I don't like girls. So her argument was, well, what would I do with you in a threesome? Like, and I'm like, I'm gonna be honest. I don't like head. I don't like head.
You don't like giving it or receiving it?
I don't like receiving it. So I don't want it from a man and I don't want it from a woman. I don't want it. So her mind was, so then what would we do?
You haven't had it done.
Everybody says that.
Because I'll tell you, once you have it done right, one, whoever did it right probably owns you. For the rest of their life. I hate to say it. I promise you, like 90% of the reason why I buried my husband was probably the head. I ain't even gonna lie. I'm not gonna say it was the best decision, but I'm gonna say that shit tipped the scale for me.
See, you know the thing about it is, I had it to the point where I was like, okay, now I know what women be talking about. But it's just not a thing for me.
No. You're not hearing me.
It has to be like that.
It has to be like there's that the C+, the B+ head. But then there's the head that's like
A1, unresistible, can't
yes,
have.
and then you think to yourself, well, this person can't possibly do it again. And then once they do it again, you're like, wait a minute.
And see, I've cut off a lot of that. It's like men be like, let me get it.
Yeah, I won't let dudes try it because I'm like, if you fail, I mean, I'm forever gonna be fucked in my head. Like,
exactly
I don't want you to keep trying to get it right on me. That's how I was with my husband. I was like, he was like, you don't want. I was like, nah, man, because if you fuck it up, then I'm
scarred.
And I don't ever want you to try again.
That's exactly why I think I am the way I am. When I lost my virginity and I first got head, it was so horrible. It was just so bad. I wasn't even sure if that was exactly how it was supposed to go. I just knew this is not for me.
That's how
I will never try this again. This is not it. Did this just bite me? Like
no, you know what? I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying.
Nibbling for? Like, what is this? Am I supposed to feel teeth? Like,
no.
It was bad.
Yeah, and once you have those experiences, like I promise you, it wasn't until like a couple years ago that I did it. Not that I promise everyone's never gonna see me the same after this. But the truth of the matter is, once it's done right, and when I say right, not. You know, because even with me, I was skeptical. Okay, this nigga, maybe it was a random unicorn. But then there was consistency, and I said, oh, shit.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Well, shit. Okay.
We're gonna might try this again. Might go around here. We might.
Okay. Well, you want me to marry?
Eyebrows is raised.
Where do I sign exactly?
You said this that line right here? Oh, okay, I do.
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Don't worry. No prenup needed.
No
prenup.
I got you.
You
got me. I got you. We good.
Yeah. But, you know, my downside is I married a whore, so, you know, he had experience.
See, and I've yet to even I think I meet a guy and I'd be like, instantly, nope, I don't want it.
Yeah,
You very well could be amazing. You very well could be the one I needed to change my whole life. But because I'm so scarred off of it, I won't even let you attempt it.
Nah, that's
off of the fear of what you said, like it being so bad.
That's how I was by the time I got to my husband. But then my homegirl was like, Co, I think what it really is that you're scared he gonna do it so good, you're gonna hand him your debit cards. And I said, bitch, shut up. But then I was like, well, maybe she got a point. Like, what if it's good?
Don't worry about it, babe. I'll buy lunch today and dinner. Here's the card.
I was like, cha-ching.
Take the card. You said you was going to like food. My treat.
My treat.
It's my treat today.
My treat. It's on the house.
Maybe that's what it is. I'm just too scared to
you got
find
scarred.
out.
And I guarantee you I spent like, I mean, I lost my virginity late, but I definitely will say that up until my husband, everybody was trash. So.
And that was her argument. She was like, "What would I do in a threesome? You don't even like head." And I was like,
I'll tell you though, my twin admitted to going down on a girl. She said she was scarred for life. She was like, she can't do it ever again.
Certain things I just will not do.
After I heard her story, I said, I'm good. Never.
Oh, I've heard plenty of those stories, and I'm just like, nah.
Nah, if you straight, stay straight.
Mm-hmm. And I think that my straightness stops there. Like, we could do just threesome, but I don't get it.
What are you going to do in a threesome?
So, see, that's what I was trying to tell her. You know, there's a lot of things that you could do besides you give me. You don't gotta give me head.
What are you gonna do? Kiss her?
And
that's what you was gonna do?
There's a lot of things, other things.
Like what?
There's like toys. And you're
hilarious. Is yours like as long as we don't touch?
I don't. Good. As long as you don't put your mouth down there, and I'm not putting my mouth on you down there, that's fine. But we both can give him head. Like
you're hilarious.
We can give him head at the same time if hilarious.
You want. Just say you're not doing threesomes. Own it. It's okay.
No, because
it's okay. I'll tell you right now, I don't do threesomes. I don't do nothing with no woman.
Would it be better if I let him give me head and just not her?
When a guy offers me a threesome, I say, okay, you want to offer a straight person a threesome. How about I offer you a man and know you're not gay and tell me how you feel about it?
Maybe I am at fault. Maybe it is my fault.
No, it's just that you're not into women.
I just felt like if you's a freak, you could come up with multiple things to do besides just that one little thing. Does that one little thing really separate it from being a threesome or not?
Bruh, if you're not into women, just own it. ANAYA Lovenote not into women sexually, okay?
I would kiss a girl. I kissed a girl and she liked it.
Well, guys, I just want to say I'm so happy we got together. I was doing that. Just so you know, our waters aren't water. They're aloe vera juice, and it has pulp in it. So
that's what I was just
I did that same thing. I was like,
slurp it up.
Yeah. It looks funny because I saw yours come back. But no, it's
you're still trying to talk to me.
It's aloe vera juice, but there's pulp in it. So if you see us like choking
but it's so good.
It's so good. But shout outs to you for coming down here. You're a breath of fresh air. I hope you could be called a homegirl now because you are definitely funny. Yes. And now we have one thing for sure in common, which is can we agree that we're straight?
Women.
We're straight.
We're straight.
I think society puts a lot of pressure on women right now with this whole, LGBTQ, everyone's being open and accepting and the freak is the new thing, but I think it's perfectly okay. And I learned this with my husband. Like, my husband's a whore. I'm not a whore. And sometimes I'll be like, this sucks. I feel like a nerd, Right. But it's like, yo, I can't change who I am. And I just got to own, like, who I am and who he is are two different people.
Especially just being in this industry because in this industry, you're going to have to deal with men who deals with a lot of other women. And so it's kind of like, I think that's where that comes from because I don't want him out here with everybody else, so maybe I should, like some females and then bring her in the bedroom so he'd feel like he ain't got to go looking for her nowhere else. My girl like girls, what else? But it's just like it's a point that if you start from that point forward, you really got to find an exit plan because then it becomes without you. Then it's the same shit you would have dealt with regardless if you did it or you didn't do it.
I think it all boils down to like just owning who you are. Like I said, like I'll tell my husband knows you can't pay me to be with a woman. It just ain't gonna happen. But I could tell a beautiful girl from a mile away. I just, I think women are just naturally beautiful. It's hard for me to see an ugly woman, to be honest. Because every woman, I'll be like, I can see the beauty in her.
I done seen a few of them. In my mind, I'll be like, are you sure you're human? There's no way. There's no way.
All right.
I don't care what you say.
So what are the next milestones for you?
Just putting out new music. Honestly, I want next year to be me living fully out my dreams. I want to be where I said I was going to be this year. Shout out to my new management, Kyle and Nato. They are so awesome. And just being in a room where I'm taken serious, and where it's like we laugh, we joke. I've never really had management to where it was like that, and where I felt like, okay, I'm here. Yeah. Like I'm making the right steps. I'm with the real deal now. This the real deal. So I can't mess up.
Yeah, and you don't have any day jobs. You're 100%, right?
Yeah, just artists.
So you're making your money off music and
social media.
And social media. Because you have brand deals or?
Yeah, so I do sponsor deals. I'm sponsored by Bel Air. Shout out to them. And then just being on like a influencer campaigns. So I'll get paid from like posting, branding, sponsorships. I just got on this new app called Bigo, and you make money just from going live, just being on live all day, ching, 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 and then like you cash app. So a lot of everything that my money comes from is music and social media.
Wow. Okay, so you're 100% entrepreneur. So, okay, that's amazing. I think that's a huge milestone in and of itself, because living in LA, you'll see a lot of artists are still struggling to be 100% all in.
Yeah, and that is still a thing. I don't want nobody to confuse it. You know, I don't have it all together. I never, ever want anyone to assume, which they do, because that's all that we give is positivity.
On social media, yeah.
But I'm still figuring it out. And I'm still getting there. And my dreams are still being worked on. So it's just keep going.
Yeah. And then just so you guys know, I don't know. I can't fully pinpoint. I'm not inside your life to know where you are in your career. But the thing that stands out the most for me when it comes to you is the tenacity, the openness, but more importantly, the drive. Okay, like I said, your team was so thorough. I have probably had the craziest schedule the last couple of weeks, but the thoroughness just shows how hard you're working to like, we're going to conquer this stone. That's it. Okay, we got that stone out of the way. Let's go after this stone. And I think that's why you're at this table, and it's a pleasure to have you. And everyone go ANAYA LOVENOTE. You can follow her on Instagram. Is there anything else like I'm missing? Like, I know there's all these platforms. Follow that name.
But honestly, the name, you just type that in and everything will come up.
Okay, yeah.
It's one-stop shop.
Listen to her music. Sadiddy.
Yes, okay, because Sadiddy is going crazy. And you know what? Shout out to everyone that was a part of Sadiddy. All the writers, everyone, just video shoot, the girls. I just am so in love with that song. Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Peace out.
Peace.